Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of I Bought a Watch. Today we're going to be looking at a watch that has always caught my eye, and when it was offered up by a friend for a review on the channel, I seized the opportunity to bring it out here for you guys. But as always, please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. So what is that watch, you ask? It is none other than the Oris 65. Now, Oris is a brand steeped in history. Way back in 1904, Paul Caton and George Christian bought a recently closed watch factory and decided to rename the company Oris. Fast forward some 61 years through rapid expansion, battles both in the courtrooms and through 2 world wars, and the unfortunate death of one of its founders, in 1965, Oris released a dive watch legend, which they rather imaginatively named the Oris Diver's 65. This state-of-the-art watch featured a unidirectional rotating bezel, bold luminescent numerals, and a water resistance of 100 meters. This watch was then re-released some 50 years later in 2015, quickly becoming one of the company's most successful launches, and for good reason. Not only did they release this heritage version, homaging the original design, but have since released multiple colorways, two-tone and gilt versions, with even a selection of dial diameters to fit every wrist. Alright, let's get into this review. So first impressions are obviously that 60s styling, and you definitely get that heritage diver look here. Those standout 3, 6, 9 and 12 Arabics, simple pencil styled hands, and slim bezel hark back to divers of the era. But this is what really drew me to this watch, that incredibly high double-domed sapphire crystal. Right, so dimensions wise we have a 40mm diameter, a 48mm lug to lug, a 20mm lug width, and a thickness of 12mm. But remember, it wears a lot slimmer, as approximately 2 of those millimeters are taken up by that domed sapphire crystal. This particular model comes on this rather lovely tropical style rubber strap, which includes plenty of holes for breathability. And rather cleverly, these holes also double as the fastening points for the buckle. Speaking of the buckle is finished with a satin brushing and has the Oris logo nicely engraved. The strap also has a single large free-floating fastener, also made from rubber. On the reverse, a perforated diamond pattern aids breathability and ensures comfort all year round. This being a diver, the watch features a screw-down caseback with the Oris Shield logo nicely etched in the center, with a list of specifications around the edge. Right, so let's have a look at this dial. Starting from the middle, we have a pencil-styled hour and minute hand with a lollipop seconds hand. The hour hand is segmented to aid in readability. Under the 12, we have printed Oris Automatic and water resistance 100 meters above the 6. Further out, we have an inner minute track, a feature which is shared with the original Diver's 65. However, differing from the original, we have a discrete date window above the 6 o'clock, with the words Swiss made nicely integrated either side. The watch features fairly minimalist baton style hour indices, aside from the distinct 60s styled font used for the 3, 6, 9 and 12 hour indices, which I must say gets wonderfully distorted by that double domed sapphire crystal. The reason the numerals look so crisp is that they are actually cutouts of the applied Superluminova lume. Framing that beautiful dial, the watch features a black PVD coated 120 click unidirectional dive time bezel, with a ceramic bezel insert and minute markers for the full 60 minutes. The watch features a very solid bezel action with 120 distinct clicks, which nicely line up perfectly with the hour markers. Unfortunately, the bezel has developed a minute amount of backplay, but this is understandable considering it's had 4 years of heavy use. What has survived the 4 years rather well is the lume. There you go, multiple coats of Superluminova, still going strong, with the Arabics clearly legible thanks to their cutout design. The watch features a beautifully threaded screw-down crown, which gives you control over the Oris 733 movement, which features a date complication, hacking, and a buttery smooth hand wind. A lot of people complain that for a Swiss watch at this price, it should really contain an ETA movement, opposed to the SW200 Solita movement that the 733 is based on. However, since Oris is independent and not part of the Swatch group, it simply wouldn't be able to get the volume of movements required to fulfill its demand. The simple finishing on the case is a longitudinal satin brushing on the top of the lugs with a high polish on the sides of the case, and features a signed crown at the 3 o'clock position. Alright, I think that's just about everything. Let's get it on the wrist. Wow. As you can see, that 40mm case diameter works perfectly. And I must say that this rubber strap is also incredibly comfortable. And the fact that it's incredibly thin means I could even see this, if perhaps paired with a brown leather strap, fit in quite nicely at a more formal occasion. Okay, let's do a wrist roll and some of my final thoughts. Wow, would you just look at that distortion? And that actually kind of brings me quite nicely on what my final opinion of what the Oris Diver 65 range is all about. Here we have a watch that ticks all the boxes of being an entry-level luxury Swiss diver, and with over 100 years of rich heritage. And more importantly, I think it ticks all the boxes with an elegance and style, largely in part due to that stunning, albeit not entirely practical, double-domed sapphire. But that's kind of what this watch is all about. This isn't a watch you would actually ever take diving, although you definitely could. This is more of your beach and shorts all the way to the ballroom, and I don't see anything wrong with it being just that. Alright, that does it for this episode, guys. As always, do hit that like and subscribe. You guys have been really awesome recently. We're almost hitting that 100 subscriber mark. And just a quick reminder, if you want to know about any channel news as soon as possible, go check out my Instagram at iboughtaWatch and give it a follow. Oh, and congratulations, Dom.